Y'all, the chaos has already started in the Diddy case, and it is only about to get worse. Now, we already knew that a lot of celebs were going to be named during the trial, but girl, we did not expect to see so many big names on day one. And when I say big names, I'm talking about A-list artists. Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Mike Myers, Lauren London, and even Michael B. Jordan. But one name that threw everyone for a loop was Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child, because there was no way that we could have seen that coming. Child, what on earth did Michelle have to do with Diddy? Does this mean that she was at Diddy's freak-offs, or was she one of Diddy's very long list of victims? Things are about to get out of hand, so let's break this down. Okay, so Hollywood is probably going insane trying to figure out who is next to be exposed. It's pretty clear at this point that a lot of people are going down with Diddy. While jury selection was going on the very first day of the trial, the jury was also given names of high-profile names like rappers Kid Cudi and Kanye West, Destiny's Child singer Michelle Williams, actors like Mike Myers and Lauren London, and singer Dawn Richard, who was previously signed to Combs' Bad Boy Records. Now, the trial is still in its very early stages, so we don't know a lot about why these celebs were named, but fans have been speculating. It didn't take long for fans to figure out why MBJ's name was brought up, because it had to do with Cassie and how Diddy allegedly threatened him. According to reports, MBJ's name was brought up on the first day of jury selection as a pool of potential jurors were quizzed on their knowledge of a list of celebrities who could be referenced during the 8-week trial. According to Rolling Stone, MBJ and Cassie spent time together in 2015 and is referenced in Ventura's November 2023 lawsuit against Combs. During a break in Combs' relationship with the R&B singer, Ventura began a flirtatious relationship with an actor, now revealed to be Jordan, in 2015, according to her lawsuit. When Combs found out, he allegedly called the actor and threatened him. Interestingly, Cassie hinted at this in her lawsuit, but she didn't name drop MBJ. The court document said later in 2015, while shooting a movie in Cape Town, South Africa, Miss Ventura began a flirtatious relationship with an actor. She spent New Year's Eve with this actor, but Mr. Combs soon found out. Mr. Combs called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Miss Ventura and tell her, "You really need to call Mr. Combs." And as for Kanye, well, that one isn't exactly surprising because he has pretty much declared support for Diddy in public. Now, I know that a lot of celebrities low-key support Diddy, but at least they're tactful enough to keep their mouth shut. But one thing that Kanye does not know how to do is keep his mouth shut. A couple of weeks ago, he tweeted, "You bees were not SA'd. Pardon me, let me put this in yay all cap. You Me Too bees did not get SA'd. You extorted ninjas. Ninjas means men, bees means bees." He also said, "Donald Trump, please free my brother Puff. Free Puff. Puff, we love you. I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl." He also said, "My support of Puff is completely selfish. I need to find whoever been trying to out black moguls. I just found out that Puff is not allowed to make or collect money while he's locked up, so I'm gonna send his half of the money to Justin." There have also been rumors of Kanye being at Diddy's freak-offs. And with Kanye's public declaration of support, yeah, I think we can guess why his name came up. Another name that we understand is Dawn Richard. She is one of the many women who have filed lawsuits against Diddy. In the lawsuit, she accused Diddy of mistreating her and the members of Danity Kane, especially while filming the show Making the Band. In the lawsuit, she said, "Throughout the productions of Making the Band 3 and 4, Mr. Combs deprived Miss Richard and her Danity Kane bandmates of basic needs, such as adequate food and sleep. When Miss Richard or her Danity Kane bandmates requested meals or rest, Mr. Combs refused and chastised them with derogatory comments like, 'You bees don't want this,' or 'Y'all are not hungry enough, and I'm paying you bees to work.'" It continued, "Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs would regularly be awake for prolonged periods of time because he was high on. During these periods, Mr. Combs demanded continuous access to Miss Richard and her Danity Kane bandmates, often forcing them to record and rehearse for stretches of 36 to 48 hours without breaks." She also claimed that he would use demeaning words on her in front of his bodyguards. Between approximately 2009 and 2011, throughout Diddy Dirty Money's recording process, rehearsals, and performances, Mr. Combs repeatedly ordered Miss Richard to strip down to her underwear. He frequently referred to her as a bee or a and made demeaning remarks about her body, alternatingly calling her lazy, fat, ugly, and skinny, particularly in front of his friends, producers, and bodyguards. And when she tried to speak up and stand up for herself, Diddy punished her by locking her in the dead of winter. She wrote, "Miss Richard screamed as loudly as she could, but no one responded. It was late evening in the wintertime, the windows were heavily tinted, and the interior of the car was dark except for faint interior lights. Miss Richard's belongings and winter coat were in the studio while the ignition was off and there was no heat. With Mr. Combs' prior threat and violence running through her mind, Miss Richard felt sheer panic, terror, and feelings of claustrophobia at being locked in a small, dark, enclosed space with no way to communicate or call for help. She began to feel cold and fear for her life, not knowing when or if she would be released. She also claimed that she allegedly saw Diddy mistreating multiple women, including Cassie. The court documents said Miss Richard was present when Mr. Combs was introduced to Cassandra, Cassie Ventura, for the first time, in or around 2006. The moment Mr. Combs first saw Miss Ventura, his demeanor noticeably shifted. Mr. Combs positioned himself directly in front of Miss Ventura's seat, invading her personal space and fixated on her with an intense, unyielding stare, isolating her from the other people in the room, including Miss Ventura's then boyfriend, music producer Ryan Leslie. It continued. Mr. Combs behaved in such an intimidating, predatory manner that the first time that they were off camera made Miss Ventura feel deeply apprehensive and afraid of him. Subsequently, Miss Ventura ended her relationship with Mr. Leslie and began dating Mr. Combs, who would become an towards her. She even gave an example of Diddy mistreating Cassie in public. The court document said Combs hosted a dinner at a West Hollywood, California restaurant, which Miss Richard and Miss Harper were required to attend. Among the guests at the dinner were celebrities like Neo and Usher, as well as Mr. Levine. At the dinner, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura had an argument. In front of the dinner guests, Mr. Combs hissed at Miss Ventura in a screaming whisper and forcefully punched her in the stomach, causing her to double over in visible pain, crying. Miss Clark escorted Miss Ventura out of the restaurant, and Mr. Combs remained and continued socializing with the dinner guests. However, one name we still don't understand is Michelle Williams. I mean, Michelle is known to mind her business. She does her thing, gets paid, and keeps it moving. Sometimes people even forget that there's a third member of Destiny's Child. So what on earth does she have to do with Diddy's mess? Well, fans are speculating that it has to do with her friendship with Beyonce. Beyonce and Jay-Z have been rumored to have been deeply involved in Diddy's shenanigans. Fans have been saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z know more about Diddy's freak-offs than they're letting on. Michelle was probably involved in the mess through her friendship with Beyonce. Now, we don't know if she's a victim or a co-conspirator, but something tells me that it's going to be chaotic either way. Anywho, drop your thoughts in the comments below, then check out this next video.